as a trend where the movement will flow over the next 5 years. So I guess as an investor, if you put your money there, you are kind of assured that development will flow there because the infrastructure is there. It's ready. It's ready to accept capacity. So yeah, if you are a young guy like you and me, you're still renting now, definitely I encourage you to just move there, buy something of your own, and start a new life there. It's very doable.
Carl D is back in the vlog, and as you all know, he's the real estate property guru. That's why we're gonna talk about real estate and property again for this video. So before all of this, we had so many videos about the crash, about real estate, about the lockdown, about the coronavirus. 2 months na yung nakalipas, you have some ideas on how people can look at trends post-ECQ. So, ano to? These are for people who are into real estate already or wala pa silang property?
Hello everybody sa mga followers and viewers of Marvin, and I'm so blessed to be in Marvin's space again. You know, in my channel, I only get mga 5 views, pero pag kay Marvin Guillermo's channel ako, I get millions of views. So yes. Hey Marvin, how's life after ECQ? 60 days na, no? How's your haircut?
I'm good, no? Haircut is growing again, so I need to cut my hair again with my wife. Medyo kumakapal na. This was just a week ago. So yeah, talking about trends, so I think the barbershop industry will be totally hit. People are seeing kaya naman pala ni Mrs. maggupit.
So, hey pare, I agree with you. You know, I go to my barbershop, 200 pesos plus tip, di ba? Sayang din yun. So, parang naging simple lang buhay. I don't know, as for me, parang I just realized, hey, I don't need to buy this. I don't need to have pantay yung haircut ko kahit hindi pantay, di ba? I don't need to really eat in expensive restaurants or ganon. I don't need fancy stuff, watches, ganon. So, yun yung naging effect sa akin on the ECQ.
Sabi ko, kaya ko pala kumain sa bahay araw-araw eh. So, sabi ko, what if we don't live in BGC na lang? And then we transfer somewhere malayo, basta mabilis yung internet. Ang kaya eh, kasi I went out, mga 6 times pa lang yata ako, 7 times umalis ng bahay. So kaya ko na nandito lang ako and we're just eating our own food. Kasi I was thinking before na it's hard if you're not in the city na malayo lahat, but
Yes.
kaya eh.
Shift talaga. I don't know what they call this in economic crisis, di ba? Sabi nila, mga shift na only happens in 100 years. No? So, but I guess, we'll start. To the viewers out there, I just want to share with you what are the trends that are shifting, that are coming out because of the COVID situation. So we have actually 3+1. So first one is yung nabanggit mo, Marvin, no, na people are now starting to realize, hey, I can actually live outside of the city. I can actually stay, diba? Just like sila Cheska and Doug Kramer, diba? In Antipolo, have that nice view and say, I can thrive, diba? I can order everything online. So my number one trend that I see is that people will start to move out of the city. And the closest move outside of the city will be New Valley, Santa Rosa, Tagaytay, that area. Tagaytay is very popular. They say, you know what? I'm gonna give up my big house here in the city. I don't need this. I'll sell it. I'll get 100 million, 50 million, move to Tagaytay, enjoy the nice weather, and still thrive, and still do my business, diba? I'll just come to Manila once in a while, pag talagang kailangan, and it can work. With the new Skyway coming soon, the new Calax coming soon, I think we will see more and more movement towards the Santa Rosa, New Valley, Tagaytay area. So far, yun yung top on my list na where people will go.
Teka lang, dapat
Why?
Di mo pala muna sinabi kasi kahit ako napapaisip ako mag-New Valley dahil sa video na to, people will watch this, baka biglang magtaasan for So anyway.
Oo nga. Yeah. Edit out. But I'm gonna share you why, no? Marvin, when you look at properties, you monitor human behavior. But before that, no? So why New Valley, Santa Rosa? Because I see that they have the infrastructure. Diba? We always hear that infrastructure, build, diba? But what is infrastructure really, and why is it affecting how you forecast property? Infrastructure, the most obvious is the bridges and road. Kasi pag may bridges and road ka, then people will start to come. There will be commerce. Yung pagkain mo na galing sa farm, aabot na ngayon sa marketplace. So, infrastructure, roads and bridges is the first one. But there's also the other infrastructure like education infrastructure, yung proper schooling, di ba? So if you see, itong lugar na to, walang proper school. So maybe no. But if that area has school, then there's another infrastructure. The third infrastructure is yun nga, a source of food, source of consumption. May infrastructure ba siya for telecoms and internet? Meron. Diba? Meron ba siyang infrastructure for healthcare? Meron. And eventually, business. In fact, business nga can be the last eh. Kasi may mga taong who can work remotely, especially now.
How's the internet there? Mabilis naman?
I think so. I think if you have a master plan development by Globe, then should be may infrastructure. What you don't want is a place that has at least not backed up by a corporation, di ba? You want to be at least backed up by a Pangilinan, a Ramon Ang, an Ayala, things like that. So you have all those different business units falling into place. And with Ayala kasi, they're able to get everybody into the game. They get their healthcare, their contractor business, the telecoms, lahat talaga all into one place. Number 2 will be inside the city warehouse. Okay. So we are, because of the trend that came out of the ECQ of us just ordering from Viber, having difficulty in moving, having difficulty in logistics, and the need to move fresh foods, necessities, we are seeing that there are companies out there who are considering to have inside the city warehouse. Ayan. So, a lot of companies are now looking into this, wherein they're now finding their commissaries or warehouses, smaller ones inside the city para mabilis yung distribution nila. So, if you have an old house, idle land that is accessible by motorcycles and delivery trucks, then definitely yes, it will be a good
I saw nga your may deal kayo with Steve C. Ikaw pala nag-supply ng warehouse nila for their...
Yeah. Last year, we were kinda seeing this opportunity in this inside the city warehouse. Pero wala pang ECQ yan. So, I was so doubting myself on this in-city warehouse strategy na when we built that structure, it can be a worker housing dormitory / warehouse. Parang nag-play safe kami. So we put in facilities for staff house in case hindi matuloy yung warehouse. But when we finished this structure by February, ECQ came. And then by around April, we kind of got in touch with Steve C. of Great Deals and GrabMart. And yun, tamang-tama. It was like a build-to-suit property for them. They have their loading bays for their motorcycle. They have a toilet at the ground level for the riders. It was in Pasig, so it was a high-volume area with high population. And what's nice about the market that we are serving with Steve is it's both wealthy and middle-lower. Diba? You have the Pasig na lower middle, and then you have the Valle Verde Acropolis higher. So, very, very fantastic location. And our location with Steve, we were able to centrally satisfy both markets. So, I wish him well in his business. Brother Steve C., I wish you well. And then number 2, Marvin, aside from the in-city warehouse and the opportunity to move out of Metro Manila, we're also seeing that because of the ECQ, properties that are by the street, yung hindi inside the village, itong by the street to, yung dating ayaw ng mga tao, gusto nila village. Ngayon, is becoming in demand. I'll help you imagine. I am a doctor right now. Pedia, kunwari, pedia. Do I want to bring babies to the hospital right now? Ayaw mo, di ba? You say, Doc, do you have an outside the hospital clinic? And preferably by the street, so we just go there, in and out faster. So we're seeing by the street properties to be rented, to be in demand. So if you have an old house and you have a building that is by the street with parking, accessible to transportation, depending on what market segment you're targeting. If you're targeting the wealthy market, so kailangan may parking. If you're targeting the masa market, then at least public transportation. So we're seeing also restaurants. Kunyari, you have a restaurant that has an all mall presence. So they're not thinking na, hey, teka lang, I think we should open something by the street. So at least we have an ongoing commissary, functioning kitchen, even if the malls are closed. And we can service deliveries since we're seeing that delivery is becoming part of the new norm right now. Marami pang parating dyan, Marvin, who will want to have at least a satellite center by the street, not inside the mall, not inside heavy density developments. And number 3, Marv, I'm moving on to the next and the last, so number 4. Now, we're also seeing this very, very strong demand of what we call the safe house or staff house. During the ECQ, we saw that the BPOs, they were trying to protect their biggest resource, which is human, their biggest resource to keep their business going. So we've received a lot of inquiries from BPOs saying, hey, Carl, do you have safe house for our staff? A place where I can drive my staff using our shuttle in one go. Maybe they're 10 in the van, but protected kasi in and out ng offices. So they're self-quarantined in their office to the house. So they won't have to deal with their staff going all over the city, going home, riding the public transportation. And these companies are saying na, hey, you know what? Additional 3, 4, 5,000 per head to keep my business running is no big deal. What's $5,000 in dollars? $100 a month to cover for the per head bed space of that staff. No? People moving out of the city, inside the city warehouse, distribution center, we call it the last mile delivery center. By the street properties for doctors, restaurant, they would definitely rent that. Or if you put up a commercial structure by the street, definitely you will now have more people wanting to also consider a satellite office. Dati kasi parang, ay, gusto ko sa mall. So now they're reconsidering. And lastly, the safe house for the staff. So itong safe house has many variations. It can go from factory workers to construction workers to BPO to KPO, and definitely the POGOs. No? If they're still here, then that will be your market also.
Here's now the follow-up questions. Number 1, if you're looking at Nuvali, to the people watching, you're saying that people are going there. So, are you recommending that people buy now so that people can rent from those nalilipat sa area na yon? Or you're saying this to end users as a trend?
Okay, as a trend where the movement will flow over the next 5 years. So I guess as an investor, if you put your money there, you are kind of assured that development will flow there because the infrastructure is there. It's ready. It's ready to accept capacity. So yeah, if you are a young guy like you and me, you're still renting now. Definitely, I encourage you to just move there. Buy something of your own and start a new life there. It's very doable. Make sure you have a portfolio there. Diba? What you don't want to happen is you see it growing pero wala ka naman stake. Diba? Yung Marvin kasi in property, it's different from school. For school, knowledge is power. Alam mo yung knowledge, you have the power. But in property, if you keep it in your head and you don't really buy something, then you will not be able to reap all the learnings that you hear on the growth. No? So, property is really something that, just like stock, you have to really buy into it. So you're spending money to make money. Parang ganun. So it's a very counterintuitive mindset wherein you are spending money.
Kaya ka sobrang yaman, Carl eh. Yung Ayala Land Premier doon, if I'm gonna buy Ayala Land Premier, how much would it cost me?
Yeah, Ayala Premier is very broad. No, I think it's around at least 35,000, 30 to 30, maka 35 na siguro with all the tax, 35,000, and maybe a median size. I'm not saying a smallest. A median will be maybe 500, 600 square meter. 20 something million. So that would be your entry point if you want Ayala Land Premier. That's really the more high end. No? So kumbaga sa kotse, these are the more luxurious brand. What are you getting if you get an Ayala Land Premier? It's really the community. You're part of a wealthy community, di ba? You're the cream of the crop.
Carl, the community, okay.
No, but the middle, for me, I see opportunity in the smaller lots, the 300 square meter, all the way down to 250, 280, 300, 400. Kasi you know what? Let's face it, things are very different than 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you have to have a library in your house. You have to have a gigantic television na malaki yung likod, di ba? And now it's more efficient. So I'm seeing that moving forward to the future, the bulk will be okay with that median 300 square meter size. But definitely, there will still be people who will go for the 800, 1,000, 1,200 square meters because they can afford it. But yung mga tulad natin, Marvin, tulad ko pala, yung
Carl,
mga
guys,
tayo
2,000 square meter yung bahay. Sobra.
2,000. Diba tayo mga average Joes, we are simple-minded, we are very content, diba? Kumbaga tayo, a house it's not the structure, it's the people living inside. We can live with 300 square or less, diba?
Okay. So, Alveo, 300 square meter, how much would it cost people naman?
I think it will be around at least 8 million to 12 million-ish, that price point. So, it's fairly affordable, I think. Compared mo sa Metro Manila, di ba? That size in a master plan area, wonderful trees and all will be 40 million, di ba? So, relatively cheap for me.
Warehouse,
Yeah.
how much?
Oh yeah, warehouse, it's a big range. Kasi it can go as small as a 300 square inside the city, 300 square. And that's good enough for some businesses to go. Hindi mo kailangan malaki. You know why? Kasi I'm not saying na small is bad. No? If I talk to a wealthy client, they will just laugh at my 300 square and say, ang liit naman yan, it's such a waste of time. Because they have the capacity to buy something expensive. 2,000, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000. So it depends. Water will seek its own level. So I think for the inside the city, as small as 300 can be a working warehouse for a smaller business, and then eventually it go up to 1,000, 2,000, 10,000 for bigger businesses.
Okay.
And also simple. If you don't have the capacity, like tayo, wala naman tayong capacity to go for the 1,000 or 5,000 square meter, then you just find your opportunity in the small ones. Kasi meron naman dyan.
May question ako, Carl. Kunyari, you own a house or a property sa may Patero, sa Taguig, sa Pasig area, the right side of C5. Tapos mga 1,000 square meter yon. Should you demolish your house tapos pa-convert? Hindi mo demolish, but should you convert it to a warehouse?
You convert whatever you have to what the market needs. Diba? Whatever your product is, what I just shared with you is how you analyze. If you see your house na mas maraming BPO there, mas maraming staff, pwede mo gawing safe house, then don't change it to a warehouse. But if you see that, parang mas warehouse, mas strategic to then you change it to a warehouse. Ayan. Kung nakita mo naman na it's a low-income area, then you switch it again na bagay sa low income. If you see that your neighborhood is student, then you have to switch it to something doable for a student. For example, when we did our BGC project, we saw that the market demand is individual. Diba? When 3 years ago, I was in a video with Amor Maclang, and I say, you know what, guys, I think I saw a mismatch in worker housing in BGC. Kasi parang BGC puro high-end residential, and then there's thousands and thousands of BPO seats. Where do the workers go at the end of the day? They cannot afford a 30,000, 40,000 unit in BGC. So they have nowhere to go. So I kind of shared to the market na there's a strong demand for worker housing in BGC 3 years ago. And then eventually Ayala put up their flats. And then the My Town eventually flourished outside BGC. So you just have to monitor the market, monitor the movement of human beings. Kasi human beings is your client, di ba? If you're into properties.
Final words, Carl, for people that are watching this.
First, I just want to do some plugging. I do private coaching during the ECQ, and I've had so many private coaching, and they're all very happy. The people come to me and say, Carl, I just want to brainstorm with you. Carl, I want to buy this property. Carl, I have this amount of money. How should I deploy it? Tapos there are people saying, Carl, I want to buy this property. Can you help me brainstorm? So instead of them not getting a second feedback, they come to me for private coaching. So there's a little bit fee, but I think the fee is so little compared to the value that you will get and to the risk that you're saving yourself from in doing a wrong investment. So I do private coaching. Just go to bit.ly/CarlD private coaching. I also do business talks for those, like, people come to me. My background kasi is with Ayala Land more than 10 years. So small, medium businesses, they come to me and say, Carl, I see this problem. How can I solve it? And me coming from the outside, I say, oh, yun yung problem mo. So we kind of help the companies grow. And then lastly, for all the viewers out there, my parting words will be always give value to the market. Diba? Don't always think of what you can take from the market. Think of what you can give. And if that is your school of thought, you can give, eventually they will be more than willing to pay you for the value that you're giving to the market. All right, Marv. That's
So
it.
you make a lot of money. So, sobrang yaman. The words pa lang, sobrang nice.
No. Marv, ano mo,
if you're gonna watch videos in my channel, search na lang Carl D. Sobrang, you'll get more from him than you can get from me. So, sobrang talino.
Yep.
Oh, sobrang
You know, we don't need to be super rich naman, di ba? As long as we're content and we're grounded and we know our purpose in life, which is to be a blessing to others, di ba?
Galing. Thank you, Carl D. I hope you guys got a lot. So, guys, during this video, put it in the comment section, your questions. If you guys have any other questions, and we'll try to make videos on that. Or si Carl naman, nagre-reply naman si Carl sa mga comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. I hope you guys got a lot from this. If you want more of Carl, put I want Carl D, then we'll see what we can do. So I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. Bye, everyone.